as a society and as me individually, we're always looking for the thing that is going to be, like, we're standing on this ledge looking down at this vast darkness, and we're like, we don't know what's down there. And then anything that bad happens in our world, it's like, oh, that's what's down there, is stuff like this. But we don't even really know what's down there. It's like, what's down there? And even if, and you're not down there, like you're up here still on this ledge. And if you fell into it, you don't even know what would necessarily be down there. It's just this, like, that fear is actually the poison.
Yeah.
It's like way more so than any of the bad stuff that's happening, right?
Yeah.
And realizing that, like, if I can kind of tackle that fear, if I can look it in the face, maybe that is the same as me looking at grief like I did with letters.
Yeah.
That, like, when I understand the grief, I understand the joy. And that with this record, it's like, man, maybe if I can understand the fear, I can understand the hope.
Yeah.
And I think that's true. It's a lot more complicated than the first one was.
So cool. As you were talking, especially about all these surface level fears that just at any given moment could rise, you're right, and paralyze us. I'm reminded of a book we just published called The Princess and the Goblin by George MacDonald.
George MacDonald.
Have you read this book?
I'm a massive George MacDonald fan.
Okay. Have you read this one yet?
I haven't read. I know a lot about that book, but that's one that I've never read.
So it's Chesterton's favorite, which is what really brought it to my attention. And one of the reasons that Chesterton loves it so much is because though it's a wild fantasy, unimaginably, cool
weird
and weird. Right?
Weird, yeah. He does stuff that's always. I'm like one of my favorite books of all time is At the Back of the North Wind, which is a fantasy novel by him. Okay, but it's. I've actually been talking about that book a lot, but
that's great.
I want to go back to that, but that's you'll be reading along in his fantasy.
Yeah,
because like C.S. Lewis is like science fiction stuff or whatever. It's weird, but it still kind of goes. It still kind of follows a thread. But George MacDonald would be like,
"Where's he going with this?"
And then all of a sudden, it's like that was out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's right, and that's how I appreciated so much this little essay by Chesterton on this book because it helped me find the thread.
Cool.
And the thread was this: it's a princess living in a castle. And there's this entire underground world of goblins. That at any given moment, especially at night, could come up. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right.
And here's the reality is, it's only those who fear them and who actually specifically can't make music in their presence that they have the most control over. And of course, the music then becomes this, I would say, analogy for beauty, to live life with confidence.
Wonder.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah. And so she ends up being saved by this miner boy who is able to basically drop rhymes spontaneously. Every time he bumps into these goblins, they can't handle it. They shriek and they hightail it in the opposite direction. Yeah. But how many of us live in fear? Even if our day-to-day lives feel like that beautiful castle and we're protected by King Papa, as she says, her dad. Yeah. Even as Christians, we can live under the Lord's providence, but still live with fear of these goblins that are going to come out at night.